You went to, as I understand it, an integrated elementary school.
That's right, mostly white, in fact. As I said, we lived in Southtown, which was mostly white.
But there were segregated schools in Centralia, but not this one.
That's right. There were there were 7 elementary schools in Centralia. 5 of them were integrated. 1 was completely white, 1 was completely black.
Now, was that the result of just housing patterns? You went to the school closest to you?
Yes. But in the school that was completely black, I don't think any white students would have been allowed. And in the school that was completely white, I don't think any black students would have been allowed.
Allowed in terms of?
Just would not be admitted. If you lived in that area, and if you were black, you were told to go to the black school. If you were white, you were told to go to the white school. And everybody accepted that and liked it.
Liked it?
Yeah.
Now, very often when you have those kinds of segregated schools, the black school does not receive the same kind of resources that the white school does.
As far as I know, the black school did receive the same kind of resources as the white school.
So it was, everyone was comfortable with this situation.
Yeah.
What was it like? What are your memories in terms of going to the integrated elementary school? Was it a comfortable experience for you? Or, I mean, since you said you didn't, your playmates were black.
Yeah.
But your classmates were white.
I enjoyed school, and most of my negative memories were a result of age and not race. I was not big for my age, and I was accelerated in school. So I was in school with boys who were older and bigger than I. So I got mistreated sometimes on the playground.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. That's the reality that, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Now, why were you accelerated in school? Why did you come in at that?
Because I could read. My uncle had this grocery store. And one of the things in the grocery store was a big stand filled with packages of seeds. So there would be a picture of a tomato, and above it the word tomato. And so on, a picture of carrots, and above it a word carrots. Well, I knew what tomatoes were, and I knew what carrots were. I learned to read just by hanging around that seed stand.
You taught yourself how to read?
I may have had some help because my mother had a school teacher that was living with us for a while. And I probably had some help. But by the time I started school, I could already read well. I read my first novel when I was 6.
Now, how did your parents respond to your accelerated learning? I mean, were they proud of you? Were they nervous about it? Or
no, they accepted it, and my father used to brag about it to his colleagues and friends. They would compare notes on their children and talk about how they were doing, and my father was very, very proud of that.
Now, did he expect that you would follow in his footsteps?
No. I don't know what he expected exactly, but he was sure that I was going to amount to something. He didn't have any worries about it, whatever. I don't know what he expected exactly,
But he didn't apparently expect or encourage you to go to work for the railroad.
no.
He wanted something else for you.
I don't know what he wanted. He had confidence in me. That's what I can say about it.
And your mother? The same thing? Did she have specific hopes or?
Yes, she was a little more specific. She wanted me to well, here's an example. When I was in high school, I was studying Latin, and I loved it. But she insisted that I switch from Latin to Spanish as being a more practical language. And I did. And when I was in college, even in my freshman year, she insisted that I take accountancy as having a more business orientation. And I did. So my mother was a little more concerned about the specific directions. Of course, she was somewhat more educated than my father. I was always pretty good at mathematics. I don't know that I had favorite subjects. I studied whatever you were told to study and did it as well as I could. But I looked forward to recess.
Oh, dear.
I was a good student, mind you.